Hello, fanboys and girls, and welcome to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast, brought to you by the fine folks at Media Junkies. Every Tuesday, we grace your ears with either a new or classic episode with the sounds of our beautiful voices. If you missed us in our off week, you can check out those classic episodes, as well as at least 21 other shows that we've recorded over the past, we've been doing this now for like 6 months. Now, Fanboy Fight Club is our flagship, but we do have some other podcasts. So if you search Media Junkie in your favorite podcast app like Apple or Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Castbox, just to name a few, you will find other episodes of the Rogue Agents podcast, Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast, Why Are You a Gamer? Please just subscribe to them all and listen to all of their content because it's all fucking awesome. Right? So if you're using Apple Podcasts and you feel we earned it, please leave us a 5-star review. It does help us with our exposure. We also appreciate anybody who wants to join in on the conversation. You can interact with us on our Twitter and Instagram at Media Junkie Vids. You can also comment on this podcast specifically at our Twitter account, which is at FBFC Podcast. My name is Jason. I have the pleasure of hosting the show. It's time to introduce you to the fanboys, and then we're going to enter the main event, and that's where the Fight Club part comes in. So let's get this shit started. So first, we have the man who co-started Media Junkie and is sporting a really cool new shelf in his basement. What's up, Wes?
Hello, my friend.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Excited to be here. All right. And then we also have the host of Why Are You a Gamer? You can also check him out while he streams on our streaming channel under the name Jamar Games. What's going on, Jamar?
Nothing much. Just doing a podcast. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Man, you guys, so much quarantine lives.
It's late.
It's late. Everybody's tired. We're just doing this to do it. All right. Then we also have our Fanboy Fight Club social media expert, Jake. What's going on, man? We can see you this week. That's exciting.
Yeah, you're going to see how much I don't pay attention and how much I like twitch and move and But yeah, did any of you guys get Streets of Rage 4 or no? Just me? Because you
Probably
should all get it.
It's on Games Pass. I was trying to tell him.
There you go. Okay.
It looks beautiful.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. It like they changed just enough, but kept a lot of the same shit. So I was having fun with it before I jumped on here. So
all right, cool. We'll appreciate that. All right, now you don't have anything to bring up in the next segment. We still have one person to introduce. So. Last but not least, one of my co-hosts on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast, the guy behind all the graphics on our channels, and also, he designed some t-shirts, and he happens to be the only one of us without a webcam, so we can't actually do the show live. So, Michael, what's up, man?
I just want to say you're welcome to all the viewers, because they don't have to look at any of your ugly mugs.
Excuse me. I'm beautiful.
I mean, you may be the most beautiful out of all four of you, because you're only in like the lower third of your camera.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I see how
are you body shaming me right now?
Right?
Fuck you.
I feel that's what's going on right
now. Well, I bet you could see the least of Wes, because he's literally just like the lower third of his camera is him, and the rest is just dead space.
Look, I can't change it.
there you go. I'm in the lower like third quadrant. So.
Damn, now Jake is sexy.
This means nothing to anyone listening.
All right. So, Jake already said he's playing Streets of Rage 4 and that all of us should pick it up. Free on Games Pass. I don't have an Xbox or a PC, so unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do that. But anybody else been seeing anything, watching anything, playing anything other than Call of Duty that's kind of caught their interest, or anything we want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, but we have a new awesome service that we've been watching some TV shows with, and I've been basically marathoning all of Martin, and I just want to say that is probably one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. It is
I agree with you.
So good, so funny. I mean, it's awesome. Yeah.
What service is that on?
I can't mention it because the FBI is watching.
Oh, okay.
What's funny is
you're like, I want to bring up this great streaming service that's not legal, so I can't talk about it.
The idea was of just telling you I watched.
But you can watch Martin.
What's funny is you're binging Martin, and binging the Drew Carey show.
Nice. That's another good one.
Oh man, that's
Should viewers at home guess which race each of you are based on that?
Okay, well here's one to throw you off though. So back in, I think it was 4th grade, we had an assignment to write a script for a TV show, and basically like we had to like pick like a cast out of our classmates to like act it out in front of the class, and I wrote it for Martin. So yeah, I loved Martin when I was younger. So
oh man,
I'd
that'd be the
say
greatest thing
that-
ever to see a bunch of 5th graders just trying to act out an episode of Martin.
I thought my
What's
episode was
that?
pretty good.
I could have swore that you were gonna say that they wrote an episode of Drew Carey and picked you as Drew Carey. I swear I thought that was going that
I
right.
would have been honored.
I assumed he
but
cast himself as Martin.
I did. Martin, no lie.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was fun though. So, all right, cool. Anybody else got anything?
I mean, we all know that Jason's more of a Mimi, though. I mean, like, we can be honest about this.
Me?
Mimi.
I thought he was his weird older brother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Oh,
All right. Anyway, I have no idea what any of that means, but it's cool.
No, from Drew Carey show. All right.
Drew Carey
yeah.
Oh, Mimi. Okay, I'm sorry.
Not Martin.
Mimi,
I know. I
and then,
thought
like,
Martin too.
Drew's
I was
older
thrown
brother.
off. Yeah, Drew's older brother. That was a cross-dresser. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
so I do know
I'm
that
gonna be Mr. Wick. And just
I
end
know
the
that
podcast.
Wes and I were talking about Middle Ditch and Swords on our Discord, and holy shit, that shit is fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Middleditch and Schwartz on Netflix, can't recommend it enough. Middleditch is the main actor from Silicon Valley, and Ben Schwartz is in John Ralphio in Parks and Recreation. So 2 very funny guys. And I haven't laughed out loud watching something in a long time, and this actually physically made me laugh out loud. So it's worth your time.
Ben Schwartz was also the voice of BB-8. Random trivia for you.
And Sonic.
Yes, and Sonic. He was Sonic in the new movie.
Cool. All
You
right.
guys are going to see me do this a lot?
Oh, I
Because,
thought, what? Pick your nose?
No. Brittany decided to put on National Treasure, so I mean, it's like whatever.
Not
Oh,
trying to
man.
smell your own farts.
Yeah, it's like,
He's like, oh yeah, that's the good shit.
Sniff test.
Oh my gosh! Again, this means nothing to anybody
It's like,
listening.
my
because
ass
we're
does
live
not smell
yet,
like
so-
COVID. We're good.
All right,
I've been
so-
wearing a mask on my asshole like for the last couple of weeks, so we're good.
well, if you have COVID, you wouldn't be able to smell your ass. So that's a good way to test.
Yeah, he's got a point there.
So
Like,
you've
yep,
been,
still smells like shit.
God,
you've been,
man.
you've been rocking a mask hole.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
That's called underwear. But I mean, all right, let's
But this would be more like a jock strap than underwear.
make sure it's just the jock strap for the front or for the back.
A
For the back,
reverse,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a reverse jock strap.
So meat hanging out. All right.
Yeah, you just put the loops around it, and it just holds everything in place.
I made,
Tucker
the,
camper.
I made the mistake of saying the words banana hammock in front of one of my daughters, and she was like, "What is that?" I was like,
It's what you put your bananas
No.
in.
Yeah.
I'm fresh.
You know those little holders that you can like just set the whole bunch of banana on in the kitchen?
Yep. Yeah.
Whoops.
It's gonna be confusing
man.
when she gets older.
Tell all the get to high school, tell all the kids like, no, banana hammock is the hook you put the bananas on. Fucking idiots.
Go to her friend's house. Where's your banana hammock at?
Dad's like, what?
Does everybody have one?
She's sitting at the table with her friend's parents. She's like, oh, I love your banana hammock.
All right. So
God.
moving on. All right. So it's time for the main event. So I'm gonna have to pass it off to Mike and Jake because unfortunately I lost last week and I'm the bitch of the week. So I was forced to participate this week. So, gentlemen, take it away.
All right, so for this week's main event, the fanboys will be turning a kids show into a TVMA show. Of course, as he just mentioned, Jason didn't get a chance to choose his because he is the bitch of the week. And after we gave him his topic, he is not very happy. So
I
here's how
left
the
that
main
in there from last week just because you weren't happy about yours and I'm not happy about mine.
Oh yeah, you were definitely unhappy about yours, and it makes me happy in my soul.
It just confuses me. That's all.
Anyway, so here's how the main event works. All the fighters will be given an intro round to bring up their topic. A 30-second attack round where they destroy everyone else's, a 30-second defend round where they defend themselves against everybody else, and then the final round will be them wrapping it all up in a nice, tidy little bow. The goal is to win, but the real motivation is to not be the loser, because the loser of the show will be deemed the bitch of the week. Jake, would you like to explain what the bitch of the week is?
Yeah, sure. So the bitch of the week is the Fanboy Fight Club punishment that's bestowed upon the loser of each episode. Since Jason is bitch of the week, if he happens to lose this week, he will be our first ever. No, he won't be the second. Oh, he'll be the second ever double.
He'll be the
bitch of
second
week.
ever, yes.
Okay. And then if
right.
he
I didn't
loses
think that
again
part.
after that, he'll be the first ever triple bitch of the week, and we'll promote him to judge and subject him to constant ridicule for probably long, even after he competes again. But yeah. So let's see if he can make a Fanboy Fight Club history and lose again.
Thanks. Appreciate that, Jake. I'm sure you'll do everything in your power to make sure it happens.
So along with Jason, you have Wes and Jamar who are competing this week. So we're going to get right into it for round one. And going first is Jamar.
I figured that was going to happen. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just get right into it. Whoa. I'm just trying to scroll. My monitor's going crazy. All right. So my childhood TV show I chose to make a mature rated version is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's an obvious choice, and honestly, at this point, I can't believe this doesn't even exist. The 2017 Power Ranger film was a toe dip into a darker, more mature version of the Rangers, but it failed to go all the way and hopes to bring on a much bigger audience. With my film, in partnership with Saban Studios and Netflix, there will be no pressure to hold back for ratings. So let's start with the story. Taking liberties from the 2015 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic book, I forgot to type that in there, from Boom Studios, the story will be picking up with the Rangers at a different point, where Tommy actually just returned to the Rangers after being gone for quite some time. Tommy is experiencing visions of him being on the other side with Repulsa. This storyline will take place over the first season, as well as the Rangers trying to figure out where he was, who he was with, and also encountering some new friends. And not to mention Lord Drakon. He's the alternate reality or alternate universe evil version of Tommy. Now, of course, to produce and direct this reboot, I am tapping on no one other than Adi Shankar. 5 years ago, he gave us an amazing first glimpse at what a real gritty Power Ranger movie could be. That video now has over 24 million views and is actually inspiration for this pick today. The project was originally started as just a joke to see how far he could push this property. And now it turned out to be exactly what the fans of Power Rangers wanted. So now let's imagine what he could actually do with a fully funded project and being focused on making this his goal. I'm also going with him because he has experience being the executive producer of the recently released Castlevania animated show that happens to be on Netflix. See the connection? This is actually the reason, or now with that being said, this leads me to the very next thing that is the most important thing to remake this. It's animation. To make this story gritty and a good tone, and to bring this to life, basically, this live action aspect just has to go. With that being gone, I'm sure it will remove all forms of cheesiness from the original shows, as well as allowing for the original cast to come back. Now, of course, we'll have to find someone to replace the Yellow Ranger. Of course, she passed away, but that should be no problem at all. And in animation, at least, this strategy has definitely worked for DC. And because of that, I got to see a really awesome, brutal form of the Ninja Turtles in a very small way, as well as a insanely brutal Mortal Kombat, which of course was through Warner Brother Animation. But you get my point. Animation allows for a very brutal vision of the bloody, darker, sexy version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So let's bring that to life. That's what I have.
All right, I dig it. So next up, we have Wes. Well, maybe we have Wes.
Sorry, I held up a finger. I was like, hold on 1 second. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I saw it, but Mike couldn't. So, you know.
I mean, I can see your guys' screen, but I have it minimized, so it only shows me whoever's talking.
Ah, that makes sense. All right. Okay, here we go. The following is a small reading of the pilot script of our new groundbreaking series. We open on a dark and stormy night. Yelling can be heard from an alley. Sick stabbing and gurgling sounds can be heard in the distance. We see a close shot of a man being stabbed in an alley. With each stab, a painful wince escapes from the victim as blood pours from his dark green sweater. Finally, the victim falls onto the ground as the unknown murderer runs from the scene. We slowly zoom into the victim's lifeless body as his green sweater turns red. Black screen. We fade in with the text, Netflix and Nickelodeon are proud to present, followed by the words, Blue's Clues. The camera slowly zooms into a door with glass on it, with the words Blueprints Detective Agency. Steve sits at his desk in the dark, drinking cheap whiskey from the bottle, and his phone rings. Steve is startled, and he answers the phone. Blueprints Detective Agency, slurs Steve. The other person on the phone is distraught. They state they have a case for Steve, one that might hit too close to home. The other person states an address for Steve to arrive at 8 p.m. and to obtain the details. Steve puts the phone back onto the base, sits back, lights up a cigarette, and starts drinking his whiskey. We hear voiceover dialogue from the last episode of Steve when he was on Blue's Clues, the original in the 90s. We fade into the last scene, and we see him leaving for college. And as he's leaving his younger brother Joe in charge. Steve is riding the bus towards his college. The bus arrives at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York. He enters and begins his journey towards a law degree. We cut back to the present day, and we see Steve standing over a body drinking out of a flask. A white sheet stained red covering it. Steve looks distraught over what he is looking at. Steve bends down and lifts the sheet. It's his brother Joe. Joe, what were you doing in this alley? What kind of fucking shit did you get into? He states. Steve states, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Steve starts to canvass the alley looking for clues. A loud bang can be heard on a trash can nearby. Steve draws his gun as he slowly approaches. He moves the trash can and he sees what made the noise. Blue is backed up into a concrete wall, shaking in fear with her eyes closed. Blue, states Steve. Blue opens her eyes and sees Steve standing in front of her. Blue shows excitement as she runs over to Steve and starts licking him on the face. Steve responds by giving Blue a big hug. What are you doing here, buddy? States Steve. Bow, bow, responds Blue. As soon as I'm done here, Blue, I'm going to take you home. Steve stands back up and starts looking at the body. At the end of the white sheet is a knife with a blue prop print on it. Is this the murder weapon, Blue? Excitedly responds Blue. Steve puts on his rubber gloves and places his knife into an evidence bag. I'll look into the fingerprints after I drop you off. Steve pulls out his handy-dandy notebook as he starts to take a note on what he's discovered in the alley. Let's get you home, Blue, states Steve. Steve and Blue arrive at the familiar yellow house with the red roof. Steve has a look of sadness as he discovers that Mailbox has had his mailbox beaten in with a baseball bat. The front is ripped off and Mailbox no longer has a face. Steve and Blue enter as the camera pans through the home and Steve discovers all the characters he grew close to over the years has been grotesquely murdered. Steve's horrified to see side table drawers now smashed into pieces. Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper, Paprika, and Cinnamon are all shattered and their insides are strewn across the kitchen floor. And Tickety Tock's clock face has been bashed in. And finally, Steve sees the big red armchair burned to a crisp. What happened here, Blue? Shockingly states Steve. States Blue. This is where I'm going to leave you. The first season of the gritty reboot of Blue's Clues will be groundbreaking for Netflix. Through the season, Steve will have to come to grips with his own mentality as members of his family are being murdered. Someone out there is trying to hit Steve where it hurts, but who? As the bodies start piling up, Steve will get closer to the answer with the help of Blue. This results in an explosive season 1 finale that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Throughout season 1, we will explore not only these murders, but the history behind Steve. How did he become a private detective? What happened to him to become a drunk? Netflix understands that kids who once watched Blue's Clues are now adults, and has decided to take this lighthearted kid show and reboot it into an adults-only version while staying true to its past seasons as canon. Blue's Clues will make its dark, delirious, and fun 8-episode return on October 16th, 2020, and we can't wait to see how Steve and Blue solve these horrendous murders. Thank you.
All right, that was good. When you sent me that, I was kind of curious to see where it'd go, and it went real dark real quick.
Fuck Joe.
That's right. Fuck
Yeah.
Joe.
Fuck Discount Steve. So that leaves us with one last fanboy, Steve Carey himself, the bitch of the week, Jason.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful introduction.
You're welcome.
All right. So, all right, here we go. So if you're paying attention to the social distancing world, you notice that Apple TV Plus recently brought back Jim Henson's lovable characters of Fraggle Rock for short 5-minute episodes. Nostalgia fans are thrilled to see all their favorites back looking better than ever. Yet no one knows the true story of what has happened between when the show originally went off the air in 1987 until now. How did they survive? One would assume that they stayed in their caves and sang along all day and just how they left us, but there is a much darker, more raw tale to tell. In a 6-part docuseries of 1.5-hour episodes entitled Fraggle Behind the Rock, coming soon to HBO Max, we examine the dark tale as what have happened to the Fraggles between 1987 and now. Episode 1, entitled Rock Bottom, will set up the series, talking about each character, how each of the characters and how their lives have changed. In episode 2, No Place for Wembley, will show what happens when gambling addiction gets out of control. You'll see Wembley ride a hot streak until the wheels fall off and Gobo forces him out of Fraggle Rock, where he eventually becomes homeless doing whatever he can to survive. In episode 3, Rolling Stone, will feature Boober, an acid-induced hippie that left Fraggle Rock to become a roadie for bands like Whitesnake, Aerosmith, and Poison. You'll hear Steven Tyler and Bret Michaels tell stories that depict Boober's downward spiral. They also explain how his name takes on a whole new meaning on the road. Episode 4, Come to Red for Some Head. This episode will feature Red, and her extravagant spending habits get her into some trouble with her credit card companies. Once the money stops rolling in, she isn't sure how she's going to pay the bills, so she starts turning tricks to make ends meet. Watch her descent from high-end call girl to back alley blow and go, before finding Christ and turning her life around. Episode 5, Crackle Rock Part 1, will feature Moki. This will be a hard episode to watch because you experience firsthand how this once free spirit who loved to sing and dance becomes a crack-hungry monster who'll do anything for her next fix. This brings us all to episode 6, the epicenter of it all, Gobo. The Dozers found a rare cocoa plant that grew at the bottom of an open canyon deep inside the caves of Fraggle Rock. Gobo used the Dozers to manufacture a powerful strand of cocaine. When mixed with their special spring water and a little bit of baking powder, you have the most pure high of your life, all thanks to Gobo. The episode will tell the whole story of how the Dozers would make it and distribute it, how Gobo would use his Uncle Traveling Matt to distribute, and this cocaine destroyed almost all of the Gorg population. This is an unprecedented story of what happens to puppets that are not the Muppets when they are left and forgotten. It'll be available this summer. Subscribe to HBO Max, the original home of Fraggle Rock, to see it all unfold.
Oh man, I feel like that just ends with them all becoming cum socks. Damn.
What
all
the
right.
fuck? I'm depressed now after just hearing all of that. God.
All right. So time for the scoring. Do you want me to go first, Jake, or are you good?
I mean, you can go first.
All right. So I've got Wes, Jason, Jamar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. That's what I was thinking, and then you said it. So. And I like how each one was different. It wasn't just like, hey, we're going to have everybody just soaked in blood the whole fucking time. Like each
like you'd expect this kind of topic to just go straight to everyone's a drug addict, everyone's getting murdered, but no, like each show had its own theme. It was kind of nice. All right, time for round 2, the fuck everyone else round. In this round, they'll have 30 seconds on the clock. Jake, you good to keep track of that?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
All right. So in this round, they'll attack each other and pretty much try to do whatever they can to ruin everyone else's show. So once Jake's ready, first up will be Wes.
All right, yep. When you start talking, Wes.
All right. Fraggle Rock Behind the Rock, you basically just described the Peter Jackson film Meet the Feebles. We've already seen the adult puppet show and Wonder Shows on TV for Funhouse, Midfit Heights, Head, and Happy Time Murders. We don't need another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Ay, ay, ay! They tried to reboot Power Rangers, and there was no audience for it. It killed the franchise on the first go. I personally thought it was good, and other people did too. The problem is, more than 26 people need to see it. We might as well just watch any anime that's been made. Zordon? This sounds more like Bordon. Done.
Nice. 2 seconds to spare.
Damn.
But was that distracting being able to see the time?
No, I actually liked it. I kept glancing at
Okay.
it.
Yeah, all right.
And you know how to...
I saw you glancing at it, didn't know if it was like oh fuck, or if it was like, oh, okay, I can say this, so.
It really helps to know whether I need to speed up or slow down.
Okay.
If only we had a clock while you're in bed. Anyway, so next up we have Jason.
Who says I don't?
Ooh.
All right.
All right, when you start talking, Jason.
Okay. So, Jamar, that first movie in 2017 was so bad that they actually canceled the sequel pretty recently. So, and you said that you want to make it less corny, but you want to include the original cast. First of all, how many of them actually act, and how's that going to make it less corny? Secondly, Wes, congratulations. You basically just turned Blue's Clues into Happy. Way to just steal that from sci-fi. And then, yeah, I mean, really, it would have been better if Blue was actually a drunk detective, too.
Ooh, 5 seconds to spare.
Ooh. All right, so that leaves us with Jamar.
Oh, I'm ready.
Whenever you start talking.
All right. What's that, Blue? You're going to ruin the child's innocence? Cool. I like this idea, Wes. It sounds fun. But you're going to take one of the cutest cartoon characters ever and put it in an awful horror murder mystery? Jesus Christ, man. What's in your head? And speaking of heads, Jason, you heard TVMA and you went directly for drug addiction, turning tricks, Breaking Bad, The Wire. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? None of you guys have anything that's truly creative other than just saying someone's going to die. Someone did drugs. Come on, man. Like, seriously?
And
we're older. We're better than that.
Ooh, all right, so that one was definitely a lot harder to judge.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. So you want to go first, Jake?
Yeah, I'll go first. Let's see. Just straight up, I'm gonna go Jamar, Jason, West, I think.
I'm a little different. I went Jamar, West, Jason. So that leads us into the Don't Come On Me round. And leading this round is going to be Jason.
Okay. All right. You ready, Jake?
Whenever you are.
All right, cool. All right, let's start off with Wes. So, Wes, I did the best I could with what I was given. So, I didn't pick Fraggle Rock personally on my own. So, I just kind of did what I could. So, there's that. And this kind of goes for Jamar, too. Jamar, I created an entire freaking docu-series. You're saying I didn't do anything creative? I spent the better part of a day coming up with the episode titles, the what happens in the episode. It's supposed to be a dark tale that tells what happens. So, that was the whole point of the entire thing. So, to not call it creative, fuck you.
All right. So next up we have Jamar.
All right. Let me flip this tea real quick. Okay. So both of you guys, wait, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So both of you guys made arguments that were actually in my intro. So next time, probably pay attention. Animation solves the issue of acting, Jason. That's all you have to do. They're voice actors. They don't actually have to do anything physical anymore. As well, you guys brought up both the 2017 movie. In my intro, I mentioned it failed because it was focused on two different audiences. It tried to be a little bit more mature, but it also was still holding on to the teen aspect of the film. Having this on Netflix and being an animated, all adult, mature rated thing would be completely resolving both of you guys' arguments.
Stop talking.
Stop.
All right, so
Fuck you, Jason.
You fucking camper.
All right, so last up we have Wes.
Hello.
All right, whenever you are ready, when you
All
are.
right. Jamar, Blue's still going to have her cute childlike drawing. It will look like she's plucked right out of the 90s show. And the main goal of this episode of Fanboy Fight Club was to take it a kid's show, make it an adult show. That's what Blue's Clues is. And unfortunately, adults murder each other sometimes. And Jason, you said it sounds like Happy. It's a murder mystery show. All shows sound like Happy. You also raved about Happy when you watched it. And it looks like there's an audience for Blue's Clues 2020. You also stated it would be better with the dog drunk. I do not condone in any way, shape, or form of getting animals drunk. Animals are beautiful creatures and we must protect them. Don't get your animals drunk.
Stop.
Fucking Bob Barker over there, Jesus.
Have them spayed and neutered as well, please.
Yeah, another tough round. This time around, though, I'm going Jason Westermore.
Yeah, I was thinking West Jason Jamar, actually.
All right, so that brings us to the final round. You guys, with your closing arguments, you're gonna have to wrap everything up nicely for us. And it's right now, it's a pretty close race for last. So make this round matter. First up is gonna be Jamar.
Hi, my name is Jamar. I am this week's Bitch of the Week. Nice to see you guys. So, thank you. So we all know the Power Ranger franchise was made for one thing in mind. It was to sell us toys. It worked. I had a lot of Power Ranger toys as a kid. But now it's time to bring back the franchise to sell us something different. And I mean, I'm wearing a Rocco's Modern Life shirt right now. I have a wall full of Ninja Turtles. I buy nostalgia. And this is the reason this franchise should be coming back. It's to sell us nostalgia. There's been so many versions of the Ninja Turtles, of the Power Rangers. So many Power Rangers. I mean, so many that I don't even know half of them anymore. There was like Jungle Force and Cyber ones. They just looked insane. So I don't know. I lost track at this point. But there were so many different ones on TV that we never actually got one for a mature audience. I know we've mentioned the 2017 movie before, and it gave us a little bit of a vibe like it could possibly go there, but it sadly did not. We deserve this as 90 kids. Like, we basically made all these properties amazing, and now we have disposable income. If you check all of our basements, we have disposable income. So why not give us what we want? I want to see the Power Rangers kick ass, like actually kick ass. And with the freedom of Netflix, it will definitely allow these creators to surely express that in my upcoming series. So let's morph these mighty Power Rangers into a TVMA show. That's all I have to say. That was cheesy. I tried to make it cheesy. Yeah.
You missed the opportunity to go be on Netflix or something.
I had like different drafts, and I'm like, they all sound really stupid. So
It's morphin' time. All right, so next up we have Wes.
I gotta clear my throat. I don't know why. Okay. Blue's Clues premiered September 8th, 1996, and it's still running to this day. So the show's been on for 24 years, meaning the children who once watched this show are now adults. During the streaming age, I cannot think of a better children's show to adapt into an adult version. The script for Blue's Clues 2020 takes a series and reboots/retools it into something new and exciting. Utilizing the children's show format, we will see Blue help Steve solve these exciting and very personal murders. And we also have other seasons already planned out. In season 2, I have a whole new person that will be a murderer. Because in season 1, I know who the murderer is and you guys don't. The possibility for this show is endless. I like to think of it as like a Dexter for a new generation with an added twist. We are in a period of nostalgic renaissance. A lot of 80s and 90s shows are returning in the spotlight with a continuation or reboot. Now is the best time as ever to take one of these shows and reboot it for a new audience. That is where Blue's Clues 2020 comes in. Murder mystery shows are some of the most popular shows on TV and Netflix, and it will not only capitalize on that aspect, but also capitalize on the nostalgic aspect as well. Blue's Clues 2020 comes in with a built-in audience that is ready to make this show successful. And I know, for one, I would fucking love to see this show. I think it would be so much fun, and I hope it gets made.
I'm calling it right now. The murderer is magenta.
It's not.
I thought the murderer was blue, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
not-
The murderer is the audience.
Guys, I don't know why you're talking. It's Paprika. Fuck that.
Paprika died. He said she
Paprika's
was
dead.
murdered. Yeah, it's the audience. That's the audience.
That's what she wants you to think,
It's
guys.
actually Dora the Explorer. Hashtag crossover.
I might have went too far and wrote like an entire series, so
Oh my god.
the murderer is Viacom.
I couldn't stop writing. Viacom.
Yes.
I
The
feel like
murderer is
all of us
his own ambitions for his
I feel like
professional
all of us
career.
should be able to get together and actually legit write a pilot, and it could be good.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. So anyway, on to our last fanboy, Jason.
Okay. So I want to pick up and just talk a little bit about the end of this docuseries, because it's going to illustrate kind of where Gobo is at in his life. And he actually tries to pitch Hollywood executives a new show that he wants to have aired. And it's actually to reflect a more darker image that Fraggle Rock has become. And you can only imagine that it was shot down, right? Because obviously people don't want their, at the time, they didn't want to ruin child's imaginations of what Fraggle Rock is. But Gobo wrote a theme song for this new show, and I want to share that with you guys right now. Okay. So let me try to get the tune in my head. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Smoke your cares away, worries for another day. Let the music play. It's time to get high as fuck. Time to make some yay, so Moki can smoke some rock. Where the Fraggles used to play, now we just watch Red suck some cock. Smoke your cares away, worries for another day. Let the music play. It's time to get high as fuck. Come get high as fuck. Come get high at Fraggle Rock. So you can only imagine that Gobo's reaction was terrible to this being rejected. And you'll be really surprised to see how he takes the news. You'll be shocked even. So I hope you all enjoyed Fraggle. I hope you all enjoy Fraggle Behind the Rock when it comes on HBO Max. Make sure that you keep an eye out for this 6-episode series that documents their redemption and leading up to the new Apple TV series. Thank you and goodbye.
Oh man, I feel like whenever Jason's bitch of the week, it's the epitome of Jamar's reading corner. He just comes up with like shit that we would have made Jamar read on these fucking podcasts.
And we just talked not long ago about the Jamar's reading corner where he had to do the Nightmare Before Christmas Halloween Town not Halloween Town. This is Halloween song.
Yep.
Oh,
I
thought of that too.
I'm gonna let you go first this time because I'm still deciding on my second place.
Fuck you. God, I don't know. I don't like the contact that Wes is trying to make right now.
Is he undressing you with his eyes?
No. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go. Probably Wes, Jason, Jamar. Sorry. It's just.
Oh
how it's
man.
gonna go.
I was looking down at my monitor. I don't know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
I zoned out.
Because what it tells was actually on his screen right now.
I zoned porno. I mean, what?
Anyway, so I had it a lot different. I had Jamar, Jason, Wes. So that
I think Jamar just slapped at his screen, but he's muted, so I couldn't tell what he just said.
There was a bug in front of my face.
Oh, okay. I
I
couldn't
was
tell
like,
if it was a bug
you're
or
mad-
you
I
were
was
trying
like-
to like
No,
slap
it was-
Mike for
it was
like.
right
you
here,
were
and I tried-
disapproving of me giving you points. My bad. I'll take them away. So this week it was close. I mean, not for the winner. Wes took it by a landslide. Wes took it with 10 points. However, we do have a bitch of the week by 2 points. The new bitch of the week is Jamar.
Oh my god, really? I was surprised. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
All right, Jason, close it out.
It was
Yeah,
very
alright.
tempting.
Back
It was
to
very
Jason.
tempting to like when you
I
just
got to
in your out like your final round, and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, predicting that you're bitch of the week. I was very hard
Well,
not
I
to
already
just
knew
purposely put you higher so you weren't right? But,
No, I already knew by the beginning.
but the integrity of the show is more important than just making you wrong.
Yeah, no. Is it? Is it?
As a judge, if I was another team.
I have
Alright, moving
no
on.
integrity, just so you know. I can be bought, and I appreciate your PayPal contribution, Jamar.
Oh my god.
Apparently it
suck
wasn't
your
enough.
dick.
Yeah,
I'll
dude.
suck your dick, man.
Unfortunately, you only sent it to me. You didn't send it to Jake, and I can only give you so many points.
All right.
Sounds good.
Moving on. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. The first rule of Fanboy Fight Club is that you must talk about the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. So make sure that you're sharing us with your friends on Apple and social media and stuff like that. Tell everybody about it. If you enjoy the show, spread the word because we want to get as many listeners as possible. We are the flagship podcast for Media Junkie, but we do offer so much more. You can catch Michael and I on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast. And Mike actually makes some t-shirts. You want to tell everybody where they can buy them?
I've got one better for you, Jason.
Oh,
Now officially on
right.
tpublic.com, you can get custom masks with all of our designs, everything from the Media Junkie designs to even ones that make your face look like other things. I've got Sting, I've got Spawn, I've got Rick from Rick and Morty. You name it, it's on there. Hell, we even have the Power Rangers, Jamar. You can fucking have one for every day of the week. But if you go to tpublic.com, you search Media Junkie, Fanboy Fight Club, Modern Toy Fair, Why Are You a Gamer, Gimmick Minute, it'll bring up the designs. You can click on the little blue link that says Vault Personality Comics. It'll take you to the store. You can see all the shirts, all the masks. All the shirts do come as masks as well. Some work better than others, obviously. But go give me your money.
All right. Cool. All right. Thank you very much. You can also listen to Why Are You a Gamer? Jamar, what do you got on tap with that?
We have a episode coming up featuring Andrew from the Jump Master podcast from OK Beast. He was a pretty cool guy and really fun. So it was interesting.
Awesome.
Check it out.
All right. Cool. And hopefully we'll get Jake's podcast up and running pretty soon here. We also have a cool YouTube channel, youtube.com/Media Junkie. You can interact with Jake on the Fanboy Fight Club Facebook page or our Twitter account at FBFC Podcast. And also you can follow Media Junkie and everything that we have going on at Media Junkie Vids. That's on Instagram and Twitter. So I'm going to leave you with a few questions. Will Jamar continue to predict the future? Will Wes ever condone getting animals drunk? He added for sexy stuff. I don't know why.
I didn't add that. Mike, did you add that? Oh my god!
Oh, Mike must have that.
I also do not condone interspecies erotica.
That's not what he told me last night.
Jake, not me, ever find an internet connection that doesn't make him sound like a robot? And will Michael ever find a webcam that his face won't break? Find out the answers to all these questions and more on the next episode of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Goodbye, everybody.